What if I told you that using a human sales agent for your first email could make your prospect up to 81% less likely to book a meeting with you? It sounds completely backwards, I know, but it's likely costing your team conversions right now. We're going to break down some brand new research into 3 tactics you can actually use with your team tomorrow to start reversing your own conversion rates. This is the Deep Dive, where we translate dense academic research into the practical strategies that actually move the needle. So today we're really focusing in on that very first touch point, the cold email. We're looking at a fascinating new study that analyzes how customers react to different kinds of sales agents.
And what's so interesting here is how a customer's entire mindset just flips between 2 very simple back-to-back steps.
Right. So the study looked at 2 key decisions the customer has to make.
Exactly. First, it's just whether to show any interest at all. And second, it's whether to actually hand over their contact information to schedule that meeting.
And this isn't just the usual human versus robot debate we always hear about, right? They looked at more than that.
Way more. They examined 3 distinct agent types. You have your traditional human sales agent, an HSA.
Okay.
Then the fully automated sales agent, the ASA, basically, an AI. And then a hybrid, which was a combination of the 2.
Okay, let's nail that down. The hybrid agent. How exactly was that team set up?
So think of it like a specialized team. The human, the HSA, handled all the communication, sort of the face of the outreach.
The relationship part.
The relationship part, exactly. And then the AI, the ASA, was in the background handling the technical side, the offer specs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The idea was to get the best of both worlds.
So you've got a human, a machine, and a team. And they're trying to get a customer through 2 gates. What was the big discovery here?
The big discovery is that what works for gate 1 completely backfires at gate 2. The customer's priorities shift so dramatically that it causes this really surprising reversal in what's effective.
Okay, let's unpack that. Let's start with decision number 1. Just getting that initial flicker of interest. You send a cold email, and you just want them to reply, okay, tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the human agent just crushed it, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. Hands down. The field study showed customers were way more likely to give that first yes to a human compared to the AI. And in another online experiment, it was even crazier.
How much crazier?
Almost 200% more likely.
Wow.
Yeah, almost double the initial interest just by having a human name on the email.
So why does the efficiency of an AI fail so hard at that first step? You'd think a faster automated offer would win.
Because it's not about efficiency at that point. The research calls this a hedonic-focused decision.
Hedonic? Okay, what does that mean in, plain English for a sales team?
It just means feeling good about the interaction. It's about warmth, personal connection, the experience of it. The customer's basically asking, do I want to start a business relationship with this person?
So they're judging the investment the company's making in them.
Exactly. The key thing here is what they call social presence, that feeling of a personal, real, warm interaction. A human agent signals that your company is willing to invest a person's time to meet their needs.
And that builds trust.
That builds the initial trust you need to even get in the door.
So, okay, this brings us to the first big takeaway. Tactic 1. For that initial email, your only goal is to get them interested. So you have to use a clearly identified human sales agent. You need to maximize that feeling of social presence. And it's not just a name in the signature. The tone, the opening line, everything has to scream, a real person took the time to write this to you. But, and this is the big one, here's where it gets really interesting. Because as soon as you get that initial yes, the game completely changes.
It flips on its head. It is the most counterintuitive part of this whole thing.
Go on.
That same human agent that was almost 200% more effective at getting interest, they are now up to 81% less likely to get the customer to actually schedule the meeting.
Yeah.
The preference completely reverses. The relationship builder is now actively costing you the appointment.
It feels like you're being punished for doing a good job in step 1. Why does that personal touch suddenly become a huge negative when it's time to book the call?
Because the customer's brain switches gears.
Yeah.
It becomes a utilitarian-focused decision.
Utilitarian, okay.
They've already said, this is interesting. Now you're asking for their time, their effort, to check their calendar, to find slots, to type in their phone number. They stop asking, do I like this person? And they start asking, how much effort is this going to be?
Quick pause. If you're finding this valuable, hit subscribe so you don't miss next week's session. And please go ahead and share this with your sales team right now.
Okay, so back to this reversal. The customer is now focused purely on efficiency. What's driving that?
It comes down to two core beliefs. First is performance expectancy. That's the belief that this task, scheduling the meeting, is going to happen fast and without mistakes.
And the second is effort expectancy. The belief that this is going to be easy and hassle-free for me, the customer. And think about it. We've all been there. Scheduling with a person can mean email tag, waiting for a response, back and forth. You anticipate that friction.
Right. You anticipate the human error. You're thinking, is this person's calendar link going to lead to 4 emails? Or is this AI's link going to give me instant confirmation?
That's it, exactly. The automated sales agent just signals operational perfection. 24/7 availability, no mistakes, instant response. Those utilitarian benefits, speed and low effort, suddenly become more important than the personal connection you just built.
Wow. So the customer loves the human for the hello, but trusts the machine for the logistics, which gives us tactic 2. For operational tasks like scheduling, collecting info, sending specs, you have to signal maximum utilitarian value. As soon as you get that initial interest, hand off the scheduling to an automated system. You've earned their trust, and now the data shows the customer is actually demanding efficiency from you. Okay, so what about the third option? The hybrid agent, the team. The theory there was great, right? Human for the relationship, machine for the execution. Did it actually work?
Well, it's a mixed bag. And context turned out to be everything. In the controlled sort of lab experiment online, the hybrid team did pretty well in stage 1.
As well as the human.
Almost. It definitely generated more initial interest than the AI did by itself. It seemed to be working.
I sense a but coming.
A huge but.
Yeah.
Because in the real world field study, it was a totally different story.
What happened?
In the real world, where customers are busy and distracted, the hybrid team performed no differently than the AI alone. In either stage, it completely lost that human advantage in stage 1.
Whoa. So the human part of the team basically became invisible. Why?
It really comes down to attention, or lack of it. The study suggests that real customers who are just trying to get through their inbox, they skim. They don't have the time or the cognitive energy to figure out who's who.
So they just latch on to the most obvious part.
They latch onto the most outstanding part, which was the AI handling the specs in the offer. If that human role isn't incredibly obvious and front and center, the customer just defaults to seeing the whole thing as an automated interaction. They just didn't register the personal touch.
That's a huge lesson. You can't just put 2 names in the signature and hope for the best. If the human is whispering and the machine is shouting, the customer only hears the machine. Okay, so that's tactic 3. If you're going to use a hybrid team, the human's role has to be highly salient, super obvious. The human needs to be the clear voice leading the conversation. If not, you lose that stage 1 advantage you were banking on. All right, let's recap the 3 tactics you can take to your team tomorrow based on all this. Tactic 1. Use a human sales agent for those first touch emails. You need to leverage social presence to build that initial trust and get the first yes. Tactic 2. The second you get that yes, switch to an automated sales agent for scheduling and logistics. The customer's focus has shifted to performance and effort expectancy. Give them the frictionless experience they now want. And tactic 3. If you use a hybrid HSA-ASA team, you have to make the human role incredibly obvious and personal in that first email. Otherwise, customers will just see it as another automated message and you'll lose your edge.
And my advice would be to pick just one of those to test with your team this week. Track the results. The numbers don't lie. Then roll out the next one. But the bigger, more provocative thought for me is this. Given this clear reversing pattern, should we be training our human sales reps to stop doing logistical tasks? Are we asking them to do things that actively sabotage their own conversion rates, things the machine could do better and faster?
This has been the Deep Dive translating academic research into wins for your team.